P9, 17,
Yes.
and inside I'm kind of just paying half, a third of your brain is there. So yeah, that was the lovely thing about the gala dinner. Nobody was concentrating on their jump. We're all just relaxing at the end of the day.
A good little point for people to watch now, Leslie. Anybody watching on the live stream, skydivers or tunnel flyers who are thinking about four-way, new to four-way, boogie jumpers if you like, fun jumpers at the weekend. Here with these medium experience flyers, you've got this boogie block, the 21. It's one of the first blocks you will fly for fun with your friends. It's good to watch the technique of these not professional flyers and just see how they actually do it. Let's talk about this 21 a little bit. It all starts off with a clean start.
Or not, as the case may be.
That's what we should be looking for, is a clean start now on level. And then that referencing in the outside, just holding off before let the centres move. Hold the position on the outside.
Yes, hold the position, let them go out, but then they want to be holding eye contact with their opposite, and then they did that really nice, just do the vertical move with the legs. It's just, let's not let them go too far out. Because the further they go out, the further they've got to come back.
One of the biggest early problems is the on the close, the outside, trying to push the pieces together. That's what, the biggest no-no.
Yes. Or the people on the inside trying to assist the turn. Really, the move is you move out, you're referencing with your other one, you stop, and then you give yourself to your piece partner. And it's trust, and that's what you've got to do flying with a piece partner. You do your bit, and then you shut down when it's their turn to do their bit, and you trust them. You don't try and do their bit for them.
One shot on next, Leslie. It's round 8 of the championships. 8:51 on the schedule, 8:51 on the clock. 26 degrees in the tunnel, it's getting warm in there now.
So one shot from Italy, that's Francesco Pierre, Gabriele Inicio. And as we saw on their earlier dive, these guys seem to have reset a little bit overnight. Just flying a little bit more confidently. Getting a little bit too much height separation to be ideal on those 21s. Yes, that's much, much better. And they're moving out just a little bit too far, because if they move out too far, then you don't have any opportunity for point and tail to do any vertical. They just have to go around each other. This makes it slightly longer.
Next up, Team 47 LCA, round 8 of the 4-way F21K, and in the go with one of our oldest competitors.
Is that Patrick at 70?
Yeah.
But he still has so much enthusiasm and love for the sport, so much passion. He still wants to get better.
And his quality in this team, he's steady, he's stable, he's calm.
I do think skydiving or tunnel flying keeps you young.
Yeah.
There's other secrets too, but just still having some passion, still striving for something. I love it that it's not just that Patrick wants to get in there and fly. He wants to fly to the best of his ability, and he wants to get better every time he's in there. He wants positive feedback. He wants to improve himself.
Fantastic, well done. Next team makes its way to the tunnel. You get a great shot there of watching Aspen Maubeuge, and of course Gerald Cart Academy 3 doing their preparation with those 21s there. But the action right now is Watcher Noyon Aspen Maubeuge.
Currently in 4th position with 82 points, so they're 1 point ahead of one shot and 3 points behind Darwin's currently in 3rd place. Everything to play for today. I like their calm in there. You can see from their faces they're really taking this seriously. They really want a good score, but they're definitely keeping it calm, keeping that referencing going, trying to do the 21 correctly. Good random sequence in there. A little bit, it could do with just shutting down that move on the 21 a little bit earlier. See, they're putting a lot of effort into the stop. Just try shutting it down a little bit earlier and cruising to the close. But a nice round there from Matura. So now we have the current leaders in 2, the Ericart Academy.
An incredible bunch of young talent. This is a masterclass again in the AA category for you.
Of course, we haven't got the scores in yet from round 7, but Ericart is so far ahead that barring them not being able to get in the tunnel, then they are going to win the N2. It's great energy from them here. They are putting some momentum in the closes, those 21s, but look, they're shutting it right off and going straight to the next point and just dealing with whatever momentum they've got. Massive amount of height difference on their 21s, especially considering how relatively small they are. That's a couple of body heights there.
Yeah.
And great round there from Academy.
Now wind speed increases back up now to these bigger flyers.
And what is this? Tubis Air Haute?
It is Traverse Air Haute Défense in the airflow now. 57.5% power. The last 3 teams in the N2 category before we go into the Open. The N1, the AAA, and they're round 8.
And I love the way that Tubis are really taking their time here, making sure that all the points are there are solid. You can see them executing their block 21. It's not fast, but it's technically almost perfect. Look, they're moving out with the eye contact, they're stopping, head switching, going back to the center. They've got a great foundation to build on, this team.
They have indeed.
A good jump. Nice one, guys.
And a big thumbs up and high fives from the team. They know they nailed that one. They really did nail it. Look at the hug there in the antechamber. Yes, they say yes. Let's go and prepare round 9. Now, ready, set, go. Les Épreuves Wimby are in. How are they standing at the moment?
Well, I was just thinking they're going to be really chuffed because there's 13 teams in the N2 and they are 10th, so they've got 3 teams behind them, and I know their goal was not to come last and to enjoy their flying.
Well, then they've nailed it, haven't they? They've nailed the championships.
They have.
Absolutely.
And you can see if this team were to now start again and do round 1 again and go through, they would do, I would say, 20% better on their scores, because
sure.
You can see now they've really calmed down. There's good eye contact, good communication. It's definitely a lot less crashy than it was at the start. It's sort of like they found their team pace. And if you haven't flown before, it's one of the first things you've got to do is establish your team pace and the team rhythm.
Did we have any scores yet for the N2 category on the system?
The N2, they haven't scored any of round 7, so we are still in the same situation as this morning, where we can see where people were from round 6. So when I'm given a position, it's actually, that was the position at the close of play.
Yeah.
Of course, we've got round 7 to take into account.
Darwin's now looking good here, off those grips.
Aren't they just
Sharp.
there in bronze medal position? Oh, I think you Murray walked with them.
Few busts there maybe, Leslie.
Yes. Suddenly got a bit grabby, didn't it? And
Yeah.
a little bit of the flow broke down, but they reset. Something you learn to do as a competitor, press the reset button. Okay, it's gone a bit fluffy, but I could make the whole dive like this, or I could just stop, lock it down. Almost like imagine hitting a button on your chest, you know,
Yeah.
a big red button, like when you unplug the computer and restart.
Out they go. Just thinking, we've not done 4-way together, have we? Were we on the same 16-way team in the Ampure Bravo 16-way challenge or not?
We've done a few jumps together, Regan.
No, but not in 4-way.
No.
We haven't.
Next time we're boogie organising together at some exotic location, we'll have to see if we can sneak a quick 4-way jump in then.
Yeah, I might have just the place for you. I'll talk to you about that a little bit later.
Sounds fantastic, Regan.
Air Max, Asperm or Burge, what happened there, Leslie?
Just a little bit of inattention. Of course, we've gone into the seniors now.
Yeah.
And the dive is J220, so J a donut. The 2 they're just doing there now, where point goes round the back, and this was the point that they fluffed, which is the 20. It's a challenging, that was my ooh. It's a very challenging block 20. See, here point's got to go over the top and then do the out facing to the two-way that's just come out. It's a real, you've got to have very quick reactions, hope the center point does the right move, and it's a real chuck one at the end.
Are we going to get our unofficial scorer back, you think?
I think we are, but probably for the top 9 teams or so. I think he couldn't be standing here scoring all the teams because he does have a few things to do, being coach for the French Federation for their squad.
We hope he can come back and join us.
And that's a beautiful 20. That is textbook, absolutely textbook. I don't think these are 4 cretins at all. I think they're very smart skydivers. Look at that. 20, you can make it look really ugly or you can make it look neat, and that is a neat 20. How tail is hooking the leg there, points doing the perfect turn and just cogging into the two-way piece on the close. This is probably the best jump so far from Les Quatre Cretins.
It's looking amazing, isn't it?
Nice one, guys.
Just joined us on the live stream. A very good morning and welcome to the action here in Lille, in Wimby. It is round 8 of the 4-way. We're into the top category now, into the N1 as it's called. And next into the airflow, we have Exponential Supermobile. Taking it slow and easy, looking at the levels.
Oh, and that's a hard stop for point dropping out there. I like the booty grip of improvisation. They're not ideal booty grips, but if that's what you've got, and that's the last 2 grips, just get on it and get off.
Yeah. J220 is the draw.
And this is a working jump. No one is going to set the world on fire on this jump.
Yeah.
Not even the French field.
Yeah, been levels there on that front piece with that turn. So next in we have our Italians, or the B Air Force, should I say. B Air Force, who've been looking good through the meet. How did they stand after round 6?
They're in equal 20th position with 102 points. So looking at about an 18 average.
Do you know, we keep saying that, Leslie, if you walked in here on a Tuesday afternoon for a coffee and saw this, you'd think that's quite decent 4-way going on right in front of your eyes. You think that doesn't look too bad at all. 20th place.
Yes, I wonder how the standard of these French teams compares. For example, if we looked at our English nationals, which is one of the biggest in the world, if not the biggest.
Yeah.
If we compared the scores here, or say, either with the outdoor scores of the nationals, compare these guys, or with the scores indoors at the Body Flight World Challenge, it'd be quite interesting to see the range.
Yeah,
it does strike me that, as you say, there's a very, very high standard here. Of course, the teams that think that they're not such a high standard are comparing themselves with the best in the world.
Yeah, exactly. Cyberlab now, they had a great round 7. Whoa, a lot of lifts going on there in the beginning of that block.
Very dynamic at the point there, because of course it does help if you hop over that piece.
Yeah.
But it's all too easy to get that wrong, which is what we saw with the other teams. That's a lovely.
Well, I think he was going before the grip was released. That's what caused the level. He was up and they were still on the grips.
He's doing it deliberately. We see now, you see?
Yeah.
Up and over. That is a lovely move. Very showy as well, classically French.
Yes.
You can do it just as well, but with not quite so much aplomb. But we like that. We like the show.
We do.
Now we have Philippe Jeannot is going to do the scoring for us for the top teams, I believe. Well, I can see him walking around with a whiteboard.
Next up now we have Herbivores and his Permas. If you just joined on the live stream, a very good morning and welcome to the action here in France. It's the final day. It's been 3 days full on. It feels like we started a moment ago, Leslie, and here we are now heading down to the final bits of action.
It's the pace of tunnel competition.
It is, isn't it?
It just goes by, bam, bam, bam. You feel that as a competitor as well. Even nationals goes by quickly, but you're doing the jumping, it sort of almost seems to last longer. You've got the aeroplane ride and the canopy ride and everything, but tunnel competitions, like you say, it seems like 1 minute you arrive and you're saying hello, and the next minute, buff, you've done 10 rounds.
Did you watch her last move there? That pitched move she did, it was like a big track around the top. Good dynamic fighting taking place here with these teams. All right, we're going to start moving into giving you our unofficial scores, I do believe. Next team in to the tunnel is No Limits. Time on the clock starts. 58.5% of the power, 25.7 degrees centigrade at the airflow, 161 kilometers an hour, rushing past them, Leslie, as they do this round 8 in front of this packed audience here and the people watching on the live stream around the world.
And this is another great round. No Limits, very excellent execution of their block 20. Look at this nice build, spin, and tail hooking the leg, and Point doing a lovely job of just feeding that leg in. Bit strange technique on the 2 there, going forwards. Saw that yesterday, but as we said, it's normal technique is to go backwards.
And 19 there from No Limits with our unofficial team scorers. Thank you very much. We really appreciate your help there. The audience love this. It's a great technique to get the information unofficially out there to the world. No Limits 19 is what we're telling you we think it is. You can do it yourself as well if you're watching. Get your stopwatch ready, have a bit of fun with it. If you know 4-way, get your stopwatch set. See if you agree with our scores. Now, check out this masterclass of 4-way. Edicart Academy 2 are in. Like I say, it's a working dive, Leslie.
It is indeed.
What
a nice technique on that too.
Great
just
technique
keeping
on
really
the 2.
close. And that 20, that's beautiful technique.
In fact, do you remember we talked about this number 2 coming up in round 8 yesterday?
Wow, that is classic, that 20, it's stunning. And of course, they're so agile, these things. Wow, look at that, the way the Point is pulling off of the grip of outside centre, using him to launch off.
And a 22 there for Edicart Academy 2.
That is
for a junior team, yeah, the 22. You know, smashing the scores of some of the top teams we've got here as well. Incredible action there. There was so much to see, so much to commentate on that. We could spend half an hour talking about what we just saw.
Yes.
That number 2, we were talking about it yesterday. We had the A category team doing the number 2. One of the guys was flying forward and doing the turn at the end, and we were saying, we'll look at the technique when it comes round tomorrow in the seniors. Here it is. Wow.
And I don't think you get better technique than we just saw Edicart Academy execute. And it just makes me realise, looking at who's doing our scoring for us, we just had Mathieu Bernier, one of the only people in the world that's won the 4 and 8-way at the World Championship at the same time. On my left now we got Philippe Journeau and Erwin, both world champions as well, who are doing our scoring. It just shows what an incredible stable France is.
That's a brilliant word. And all the world meets we go to, with all the Dubai challenges and the World Air Games and the world meets, Philippe's always there. 14 there, so dropping down a little bit. Long cats, 14. Look, excuse me. Looks like the best we've seen so far is that 22 from Edicart Academy. I think they did a 21 on the last round, didn't they, as well, on the...
They did indeed. Unofficial scores,
unofficial.
Of course. We are going to check it out later on in the meet. We're going to have to check and see how accurate is Mathieu a better scorer than Philippe and Erwan.
Or all the guys upstairs is better scorers than them. So this could be, you know, are we setting a standard now, how 4-way can be brought to the public in a tunnel meet? Are we bringing you these unofficial scores, technology of a stopwatch and a whiteboard next to the tunnel, watching the action? Jeff waves from Team Monaco through the window there. Very good morning to that team. Always great energy and great people. But we're bringing you now our unofficial scores to give you the story of what's happening here with the Expendables. Weeby, round 8.
This is a good solid round from them. It's not amazing.
16 there from the Expendables.
But it's not rubbish either. So that would put them.
Yeah, we really are in skydiving Hall of Fame company here, Leslie, with Philippe and Erwan and all the rest of the talent around us. It's like a four-way heaven.
Yes.
Here we go, Monaco. Monaco
Stefan-
Sky Dream Team.
Stefan Mattoni, Frank Vasile, Jeff Ronzaval, and of course Kilian Forsans, the 17-year-old they have picked up for this competition to do their best ever average.
Skydiving heaven and being surrounded by champions Philippe and Erwan and all the rest of the French people here. David Growls has just joined us online from the undisputed indoor and outdoor champions of the world in four-way. Good morning, David.
Good morning, David. We're missing you. I remember Hayabusa were here last year.
17 there from Monaco. Sky Dream Team. It's a bit of a mouthful, that Sky Dream Team. Sounds like an airliner.
So that would put them on 189 points in theory.
Just to refresh your memory of the overnight scores in the four-way as it stood after round 6. In fourth place we had Amnesia, third place Real Fly Sion, second Qatar Tigers, first Wimby French Field, next into the airflow we have Le Francais Fly Zone,
who were in 13th position at the end of round 6 with 117 points. If you're at home and you want to check out the scores, you can go to scores.wemby.com, where you'll see all of the belly events are there. Meanwhile, we are bringing you the unofficial scores until such time as the judges put the official ones on the scoreboard. But at least it gives us an idea sort of roughly where we are in the competition.
David's watching the action on his sofa. He says enjoying watching four-way while lying on the sofa at home.
Eating chocolates and drinking beer? No, not really.
Belgium, that's what they're good at. 17,
That's true.
17 for La Francais Fly Zone. Still looking like the best we've seen so far by a mile is Aerocart Academy 2 in this round 8 with their unofficial 22. Next up we have Just in Time. I can't remember this name until I see it on the screen. Just in Time, Glosbril de Stroff. What do you think? You have a go, Leslie.
Just in time, Glas Bliederstraff.
That was better than me, but you're a journalist. Right, here we go. 22 is the standard that's been set. Unofficial by Aerocart Academy 2 here in the round 8 of the four-way. Here in this 17-foot monster of the tunnel. 25.5 degrees of air rushing against them at 160 kilometers an hour. Only 57% of the power being targeted at them right now. Calm, technique, 16s and 17s we've been seeing. 15 there, just in time. So just dropping down the average a little bit. We should see now as we move through these next 10 teams, kind of top 10 teams in this top category, the scores start to edge up a little bit, open to the 20s. On board now are in the airflow. It's round 8, it's the A category, four-way open. J220 is the draw. There's the J. Here comes that 2 with the outside piece.
Someone just nearly overshoots. Well, did overshoot, but stopped it. Not a bad 20. And that's a sideways move that they're doing there on the 2. You know, we were talking about, do we go forwards, do we go backwards, do we go sideways? They're crabbing it, we should say.
16
it's a fun block, that for sure.
16, so
16
17s, 15s,
board.
and 16s, Leslie. Tenanine coming in next.
142. Tenanine.
Now
I found out what tenanine means, by the way.
I was with you,
Oh.
but I forgot it was
Shall we
Arabic.
tell the people at home?
Yes.
It means dragons.
That's right.
Tenanine is one dragon, and tenanine is more than one dragon.
Multiple dragons now in the door, entering this airflow. The juniors, the Aerocart Academy 2 with a 22 unofficial. And these Tenanine team beat that unofficial 22. They need to pick up the pace a little bit.
Well, there's nothing too showy for even Martial to do in this round, although you never see him hang around.
No.
So he makes a great coach for that. His energy. He's just like, "And go faster."
Yes. Always.
Remember saying to him, we want to increase our average. He's like, "Well, go faster."
19 there, so I said they need to
19.
pick up the pace a little bit. Still, Kart Academy 2, still showing the rest of the class how it's done.
Yeah, that would put Aerocard Academy extending their lead over Tenanine.
And we've got
to
Matteo and
5
Philip now on the
points.
board. Yes, we've got two people scoring. How good is this? Philippe and Matteo with the stopwatches.
So who are we going to take then? Mathieu's version, or are we going to take Philippe's?
Let's see which one's
We'll average them, shall we?
Yes. Legion Wimby now. Can they break through this board of 20?
And they're going fast, but this jump doesn't lend itself to quite that go-for-it quality that the previous one had with those 3 randoms and the 6.
Round 9, P9, 16 is going to speed it up a bit. 22 we're looking at there. Again, these are unofficial scores.
Round 8, sorry, isn't it? Are we into round 9?
Round 8 now, I'm saying round 9 of P9 and 16. That's
Ah,
going to
yes,
speed it up a
round
little
9,
bit.
yes.
But then round 10, 10DG21, that's going to be have some pace to it.
Yes, the 10's always Tails' favourite block in the 21. So we could see a bit of Martial action in there, I think.
For sure.
Wow, Espoir. That's a beautiful 20. Look at the energy in the start of this 20. Oh, no, he's on the 2.
Here it comes.
See, throwing himself over
Yes.
the top. And this is a jump that it's a lot about point. You know, we said before that round 10 is going to be a jump that Tail will like, but this is a great jump for point. There are those jumps where you think, oh, I like this, a chance to shine.
Yes.
Nice one, Espoir. They are landing that 20 every time. It's one where if he goes right, then it's quick, but you can waste a lot of time just trying to close that pit. That last one, especially on the point.
We're thinking it might be a 20 for them there for Aspire Wimby Lille. Now, one of the teams which has been really piquing the interest of the audience here in the tunnel and around the world too, Team Odin Parachute Systems, with their shield of Odin just on the floor outside the tunnel, prepare for their entrance. He had a great entrance on round 7, Leslie, and it's another good one.
Yes, I like that. Take it low and just
place it in.
Slide it out.
Yeah. It's got that nailed, haven't they, that entrance?
They have indeed. They're not quite as polished on this 20 as their other blocks. I mean, I'm nitpicking, but why I'm saying this is because their blocks are so technically perfect.
Yes.
It's improving as they go on.
22, I think, there for Odin Parachute Systems, again matching unofficially Aerocart Academy 2.
And that's a great round from Odin. That unofficial 22, putting them on an unofficial 196. Ahead of Academy, ahead of Espoir. And they're currently ahead of Extremo, who I believe are about to get in.
Do you know what, Leslie, now with this 4-way and all these masters of 4-way helping us with the timing and the scores, it almost feels like a dynamic meet when you've got all the champions together, dynamic competition, as the people flying and the rest of the people judging and everybody's helping out together. 4-ways coming together at this meet.
Isn't it just, and we were saying before about having to change our format for the Olympics to make it more exciting for the public, and that's what they when they created the whole dynamic competition, that's what they set out to do.
Yeah.
Was create something which didn't have subjective judging and which was understandable to the public, and where the scores were out virtually instantly. So yes, the 4-way world could do with taking a leaf out of their book, and we thank.
I think a 21 there for Extremo, Leslie.
That would put them on 188. which would be 8 points behind Odin. These unofficial scores by French world champions.
So as we saw the overnight score, Saturday night leading into Sunday morning, 4th place on 27.83, 167 points from Italy. Team Amnesia get into the tunnel now for their round 8. What can they do now to bring something back? 22, we think is the best we've seen on this round so far. Just a little bit of time lost on that start, drifting across the tunnel, but now they're picking up the pace, Leslie.
Amnesia have just been flying harder and harder each round, and yet they're not letting that speed affect their performance. It's very technical 20.
Oh, now they're picking up the speed as well. Giuseppe's pushing through.
That's a lovely backward move they're doing on that 2. It's fast.
The green helmet of speed.
And the blue helmet of fast reverse.
Yeah.
Yep, just stick it on him, babe. It's really nice.
22, we think there, just not passing what we've seen from Erdekart and Lejean unofficially. Maybe 21, 22, 22, we think.
That would put them through the 100 barrier.
What a team, what a team.
2-1-4.
I like to watch Amnesia.
So that would make them the first team that's gone through the 200 barrier. Odin, we reckon, are on 196.
On 5th place overnight, Gavroche, Wimby now into the airflow. Let's have a look at them just launching it in. How are they? Good timing on the start.
And these guys were 5th this morning with 162. We make it unofficial 23 on the last one, which gives them 185 points going into this round. Very dynamic on the front there.
Big team, Leslie.
Jeremy?
Big team.
Yes, they are big. They're all big.
They need this 17-foot tunnel.
Well, I've seen them do awesome four-way in Windor and in various other slightly smaller tunnels. They can certainly make it work in smaller tunnels, but yes, this is more friendly for them.
We're thinking another 22, maybe a bust in there as well. But yeah, 22 seems like the target to beat right now. Now, the 2nd place overnight with Qatar Tigers, 186 points, 31 average. Now come into the tunnel with their round 6, 31 average, and 2nd place with their round 8 Qatar Tigers. 22 is the unofficial target to smash. Can the team here from Qatar do it? Shake, shake, in the goal. It's a good start, Leslie.
It is, and them being small is kind of an advantage. So it's not always an advantage, but with that 2, that donut is so small that the point doesn't really have far to go.
Oh,
this
it's
is
finesse.
Very neat jump.
This is going to do it. This is going to break through that 22, I think.
It is, isn't it? I think so too. They're all in sync, off and on those grips together. Very excellent hands. No fumbling going on, but very definite where they're going. They know which is touching on and where they're taking hold. This is amazing. They are storming through this jump. 27. Wow, nice one.
We're thinking an unofficial 27, maybe 28. We're thinking there. We've got a bit of dispute here between our unofficial judges, so it's a 27-28 for sure. It's smashing the 22 we saw. Next in, it's the overnight leaders, the Wimby French Fields. They had a 31.83 average, 191 points after round 6. Leslie Gale, here we are, round 8. It's a nice start, Leslie. Oh, it's a nice start. First 2 points, blasting out the time.
And on our unofficial scores, the girls tied wheel flies there on to win the round on 29 on the last one.
This is exciting stuff. 27, maybe 28 from the Qataris. The French girls now with their answer to what we've just seen.
Now I think
it looks a bit faster, do you think?
Well, I think Qatar might be faster actually. I don't know why.
Qatar's just maybe a 27 there. 27 says Philippe.
What does Mathieu say?
Mathieu says 27 as well. Consensus there from our 2. They're having a great competition between them actually.
Yes, so
great fun to have this action going on here in the tunnel with the champions giving out the unofficial results. Now, overnight standings after 6 rounds. Real Fly on 30.83 average, 185 points there, round 8, leaning into the airflow now. Our final team of this pack are in. Initial impressions, Leslie, what are you seeing?
It's fast. I think Qatar's going to win the round. Well, it depends. Qatar were on 27 or 28.
Yes.
So depending if you believe Philippe or Mathieu. And they both agreed the girls were on 27. So to win this round, Real Flies they on need a 28. I'm thinking it's going to be 26 or 7.
How will it affect the second place, the Qatar Tigers?
Well, in theory, 26. Yes, so a little bit not quite as good as the girls.
Well, an incredible round of action there, Leslie, here at the final day of action in Lille at Wimby with the Indoor Skydiving Championships. We had the Eddercart come with a 22, and then the 19s, 16s and 15s came out, and then we started to move back up the scores with 21s, 22s again. 22s from Amnesia, from Hurricane Factory, Extreme Orange, from Gavache Wimby, unofficial scores of course. And then the Qatar Tigers came in and blasted out what we think is a 27 or maybe a 28.
Or maybe 28.
And then the French Fields also with a 27, and then just a little bit behind them, we think, Real Fly Sion with a 26. What an incredible round that was.
Yes, and that could make a difference on the big difference on the scoreboard, because on our unofficial scores, then Real Flies Leon scored 1 point better than Qatar in round 7, and then the round we've done, round 8, if they were Qatar were either 1 or 2 points ahead of Real Fly, depending on whether you believe Mathieu or Philippe, so that would put them either dead level with Real Fly or 1 point ahead. It's all to play for here. It's very, very exciting at the top. You look at how fast they're going there, that's almost 1 point every second.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, some of that, they're doing a 360-degree rotation.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised they can't quite call it on a 27 or a 28. It could barely be closer.
It's incredible live action. We're back with round 9 in 1 minute. Don't go anywhere. And a very warm welcome back to the action. It's round 9 now. We're in the N2 category. Round 9 is 9BN for November.
So as we said, this is potentially a high scoring round, but what was great. So Watcher PP are in there at the moment. As we said, this is a potentially high scoring round. With that random sequence we see them in now, that's the cat and that's the accordion. So it's really a five random jump. We're in the earlier part of the competition now, but I think when we see the better teams nearer the top, then we're going to see some good scores on this jump.
Yeah, I'm just calming down after that round 8 we just saw, Leslie. That was absolutely stunning and amazing work from the four-way teams, and I'm loving this unofficial scoring system we've put together.
I'm loving the caliber of the judges as well.
Yeah, just to explain what was happening there on the second block of the A category, we had two champions of four-way, undeniable French talents, were watching the action with stopwatches and feeding back what they thought the score was to us as a great way of getting the audience involved in this live action.
Patrice was using various examples yesterday of sports like the curling and the shooting, where those sports federations have kind of repackaged their sport. One of those, they went to Eurosport, and Eurosport told them exactly how to change their sport to make it more appealing to the public. Because we can sit in our ivory tower and say, well, this is what we do and the public should like it, or we can manage to package up our sport in a way that the public can relate to it, understand it, get excited about it, and that's the way not only to get our sport into the Olympics, but to grow participation. Because if they don't understand it, how are they going to get into it? But if we can make it understandable, exciting, then we have the potential to attract more people into skydiving, more people into tunnel flying, which is something that we're seeing anyway, because tunnels are making skydiving, they're making free fall more accessible to everyone of any age, fitness level, or circumstance.
But that is the key point. You know, you start off with the actual TV companies. What do they want to see? You know, we could end up with a discipline which is absolutely nothing like we've got flying at the moment in all categories. It could be a totally whole new concept of how we use a tunnel, and that would, obviously, a lot of the established flyers will be up in arms about it, but if that's the way to make it into a big public event, that's what it's got to be.
And why not? The point is that you don't have to bastardize it completely.
Well, it might not, but it might be as well. We have to be open to the possibility that it might be that.
Yes, but if we're still doing our sport and we're still measuring it in some way, it's still our sport.
Yes. But the point I'm making, he was talking about the skiing and the shooting. What you see now on TV is nothing related to what the sport was before the TV got involved.
Yes, but it's not unlike it. They ski and then they shoot.
Yeah. All right.
It's just they're putting the targets all in one place so that the public can see the action.
I'm just feeding back what he was saying last night. In the conversation, he said we could end up with a discipline that is absolutely not related to anything we do now.
Yes. And have you ever thought about why do we do 4 and 8 way? Well, one of the reasons why we do 4-way is in the beginning, the most common planes that were used were Cessnas.
Yes.
And that's all they held. Yeah. They held 4 or 5 people. So, and quite often it was 4 in those days. It was judged down to air. And then you had an islander that you could get an 8-way in. So 4 and 8-way, it's not that we decided, oh, well, that's the perfect number. It was more, it's historical, and that's because of the aircraft that we had. Now we're jumping Twin Otters and Dorias and Caravans, and that you can fit any amount, and you're like, why not 6-way? You know, does it have to be 4 or 8? No, to me, we can always look to rebrand something, repurpose it.
Yeah. I think one thing he was quite adamant was it would be about using your whole body, how you can fly your body, who can fly the body the fastest, really, through all orientations. That's the kind of idea they would be going down. Almost like the solo speed.
I was just going to say, the solo speed at the Wind Games this year, it struck me how very understandable it was for the public.
Yeah.
I love to watch it. I also love to watch the 2-way and the 4-way dynamic, but I think in terms of the public understanding, just who is the fastest person in the world, they get in and they do a sequence. It's really, really super easy to understand. You've got the results straight away, and one of the wonderful things about having the results straight away is it's not just about giving the public the results, it's also that you have the reactions from the teams.
Yes.
When Kyra gets out and she looks behind and she sees that she's done the fastest time, then the hand goes up in the air, you know, you get the reaction, and you see that right in the antechamber, and it's that emotion that we need to bring to the public.
Yes.
Whereas when you don't score the jump until an hour later, then that emotion to some extent is lost. When you come out, you're still pumping with adrenaline because you've just flown your heart out, and then you see that yes, you won, then that is real excitement, drama to capture for the public.
And one thing they could do, what we're doing now, the trialling, just organically we're trying this live scoring around the tunnel with stopwatches. That is something you could definitely trial on these intermediate, N2, AA, single A categories. You could really trial it there
Yes.
as an example, especially
Yes,
on these
because of course it's
national
much
meets.
easier when they're doing half the number of points
Yeah.
to get it right. I do understand. I don't want to come over as alien to any judges. I understand that they want to do the best job that they can and they want to make sure that the scores are right for competitors. And it works for competitors. It's just not really maybe what we need for the public. And in all honesty, I think that the competitors would buy into instant scoring whilst accepting that it may mean that results aren't quite the same.
Yeah. Good concept. It's a good talking point. It's we'd like to hear your opinion as well if you're watching online at home, and if you're a flyer, even if you're not a flyer, it's even probably more valid because you're the audience and the people who's seeing the action now is watching online. Would you rather be able to see exactly now that team has just left what their score is flashed on the screen? I'm sure you would. Let us know your thoughts and opinions about it. Next up, the team sporting our oldest competitor, 70 years of age, team 47 LCA. By no stretch of the imagination, really showing us a good standard of flying. How have they done with points so far, this team, Leslie? 47 LCA.
Well, they're comfortably down at the bottom.
Yeah. But how many points, what kind of score have they got in total?
They are looking on about a 9 average.
About a 9 average, which, almost double figure average. Somebody in his 70s. Wow. Absolute respect.
And I like the fact that they're not trying to fly quicker than their ability. They're taking their time, making sure the points are there, nice solid flying.
They look like a team in progress, look like a team that's on a mission. This is not the end result, like you say, with that calm flying, like they're trying to achieve a new standard, perhaps.
Yes, who knows if they're going to stay together.
Next up, watcher Noyu Asper Maubeuge in the tunnel, Leslie. And we just, with our eyes, we can see the Elkhart Academy 3 preparing themselves for their flight just behind the window into the antechamber. If you just joined us, very warm welcome. It's the last day of action in the Wimby French Indoor Championships here in Lille, and this is the N2 category.
And Wachura Noyan Asper Maubeuge should be very pleased with where they are. Their highest average before was a 16-point average. Their aim here was actually to get a 15-point average, so they were happy, if you like, to take a drop, but they are currently in 4th position and looking very, very comfortable. I would say they're going to end up with at least an 18 average, so nice one, Wachura.
Elkhart Academy 3 into the airflow now with the 9.
So the current leaders of the category, the undisputed.
9, there's the random block if you like, B, the
Well,
N.
I'd say their block technique is actually better than their randoms. This is a nice jump, but what is super impressive about their blocks is their execution, and I would say here they're doing a good job, but it's not as textbook as the others. They're not quite on level. They're making it happen. The two pieces, the cat and the accordion, they're not quite together. Whereas their block technique, you could put it on video as being exemplar.
Yeah, absolutely. I really agree there, Leslie. And a great round of applause from everybody watching here in the tunnel. Just watching the door there. David Groves is watching back home. His teammate Dennis has just walked into the tunnel with his father, Paul. Paul, an incredible four-way flyer in his own right. Toby's Air Horse de France.
And a bodybuilding champion?
Yeah, he is indeed.
He's not coming anywhere near us, Dennis, because I jumped him last year. He was just trying to walk past the commentary box, and before you would have done this as well, Regan. Suddenly he was there being interviewed. He didn't really have much of a choice.
No, and that's what they're trained to do it as well. They are the world champions indoor and outdoor. That's part of their media stuff. Now, you were very impressed with the technique of this team, with the Horse de France on the previous round. They're watching and they're the whole calmness of the skydive and the flight.
Yes, gives them a lot to build on, doesn't it? Good foundation, similar, good solid jump. Why do we still call it a jump?
I think we always will.
It's like you have a jump off. It's like, no, it's a fly off.
Yeah. And next up, Les Infra Wimby. They're 9. Here comes the N and back to the 9. There's 2 pieces doing a random move. 180s at the front, 180s at the back.
They don't look quite so confident in this jump, which is quite strange because if they're not really used to four-way, these guys, so you would have thought if it's all randoms, it doesn't make any difference if it's four-way. You know, these guys can all fly in formation. I know that, but
I think the block 9 can freak people out a little bit when they're new to the sport or new to, you know, in the head it's they've only done randoms before and it's one of the first blocks. It's a block and it is just a random move, but they get a bit freaked out by it sometimes, I think.
Yeah, maybe having those 2 formations next to each other is a little bit strange.
Working on the setup,
yes.
You know.
I always really like that, you know, some of the 8-way blocks, the 3, you got 2 Danish cheese set up next to each other, or the 16, you got 2 cheese that go into monopods, and I like that when you're flying 2 formations
yes, I
next
do
to each
too.
other. It takes a lot of skill. So here we've got Darwings. Darwings are certainly in the medal contention. They were in bronze position this morning. They look as though they're flying well. They were 3 points ahead of nearest rivals, Watura. We don't have Mature and Philippe and Erwan giving us scores, so it's a little bit hard to judge. We're just going to have to wait till the judges put us out of our misery. This is a solid enough jump for them, but again, they
struggling on that block, Bill.
Yeah, they're struggling on that block. They're building in a lot of unnecessary height to that 9.
Yeah.
You see that compressed accordion. He's thinking that he has to go over the side. Well, you don't actually have to do that. You just push long arm it. And push it so that you have a wide grip, and then you're not going to go into the person. And sort of building in a little bit of extra movement. Four-way is all about trying to shorten up the moves and be as efficient as possible.
It certainly is. Ladies and gentlemen, Regan Tetlow in the studio. This is now round number 9 of the N1 category, the top category, the Open here in the French Indoor Championships. Wimby, Lille, and we're starting with Aeromax Asper Maubeuge. The draw we have, Leslie, is
P916. I was confused for a moment there because I saw them doing the 9 and I thought, are they doing the N2 jump? But no, the jump is P916. So P and 9 is virtually a random. 16 is pretty fast block. It's just really I think this could be good to see some high scores on this.
And it's interesting
especially
as well.
With a 4-point random sequence effectively. And the 16, you can really get some speed up on that, hook the leg, whiz. Yeah, I can see this is also a nice jump. You know, some of them have a feel-good factor. The formations go together.
So what's interesting as well about this, we've just seen the 9 done by the N2 category. Now we're watching the 9 by officially the N1 category. So we can see as we move through the pack, that technique really starts to show itself.
Yes, we're going to see a lot more aggression and people kind of almost throwing it from one point to the other. So it's a much more snappy move. Let's see what Martial and Marco make of it.
Yeah, then we'll get down to...
Of course, in the beginning, you need to do that move slowly because you don't want to move those 2 little formations. They're next to each other. You don't want to move them away, but it's all part of being a better skydiver, is putting a lot more momentum into the start, but then the same momentum into the stop, so that you don't move the piece. And the 4 cretins are having a great day today.
They're really skydiving well. What's going on with the booties there? Is that the shoelaces hanging out?
I think it's a bit of a worn booty.
Tunnel temperature, we've been keeping our eye on that, Leslie, haven't we, from this morning? We noticed when we set off it was 21 degrees, it's creeping up now. 26.4 degrees centigrade is the air temperature. That's coming at them at 160 kilometers an hour. But only 57% of the power of the tunnel available. Recirculating air, getting warmer and warmer as it goes through the system.
So if they're on 57%, What sort of percentage were the dynamic guys flying on? Did you notice?
Yeah,
really?
85, 86, 87.
Makes me wonder, have they tested it on 100%? Who can fly in this tunnel at 100%?
Yeah, I've seen I Fly Aspire, young Wittenberg, flying her routine at 100%, like a pencil.
Ah, yes.
Incredible stuff. So next action after this tunnel, Leslie, it's going to be the Body Flight Challenge for you. 8-way down there, you're not on the presenting team this year.
I think I might be.
8-way as well? You're competing and flying?
I'm not going to compete and present. That's not really going to work.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, I'll find a way.
You'll find a way, boy. You can always use a radio headset.
What, commentating from inside the tunnel?
Yeah, that'd be good.
While I'm doing my round? I don't think so. But yes, well, there's a will, there's a way. I'm sure I can provide a little bit. It depends how many teams there are. I think because they announced it quite late, it wasn't announced in the beginning, then not everyone can stay for this Sunday. I know some Belgian teams that would have stayed to do 8-way. For example, the great 8-way that's happening between Hayabusa and ISR Firefly. Those two teams they're not doing 8-way officially this year, but because the Hayabusa are concentrating on the World Meet. But they did do 8-way together last year for quite a bit of training, and I'm sure those guys would have stayed and done the 8-way. But by the time they find out, they've already booked their passage home. So depending on how many teams there are, depends how quick the turnaround is as to whether or not I'll be able to do a little bit of commentary.
So that's B Air Force making their way out of the tunnel now in their round 9, their last flight of round 9. They've got one more flight to go for this championships. And next up, into the airfloor, Cyberlab performed well in the last 2 rounds this morning. They've had a great start to the Sunday. Let's see now, that's a good start as well as they move into this 9.
The
16 here.
16 is an interesting block. What we're going to see is it being a lot more dynamic as we go up through the level of the category. You see, that's a nice 16. It's going round. It's consistent.
Cogging
They're coming
round.
out on grips. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you, Regan.
My
It's
pleasure,
cogging
Leslie, here to
round.
support you as best as possible.
And what a pleasure it is to work with you, as always, Regan. But yeah, they're cogging that round nicely, but we're going to see, you know, by the time we see Gavroche in there, Tenanine, the girls, the Qatar Tigers, we're going to see them really spin those compressors rather than turn. It's going to be woo, and it's going to be around and closed.
I think the first time I did a 16 in the sky, I got kicked in the head 10 times and kicked somebody in the head 4 times. Sure I did.
Was that in the days before we were wearing full faces?
Was
that Frappat days?
No, it was just after Frappats. It was the factory divers in the early 90s. I was very young. Herbivore, Annie's Pimas now. Cindy in a old suit, keeping the new one for the summertime. Now they've had a good meet as well.
Haven't they just? I guess these guys jump at Pamier drop zone. Do you think herbivores is that like herbivores, but they eat air instead of vegetables? Because there aren't many herbivores in France, are there? It's fantastic food. I love this country's food.
I was very impressed last night with the gala dinner. Normally something like that, the food comes out, it's half cold, it's messy. It was all hot, it was fresh, it was great.
It's hard to cater for that many people and have every table consistent, and it was delicious.
Herbivores, Annie's, Pamiers, well done guys. And there's a drop zone here, you were saying, I didn't know that.
In Lille, yes.
What any information about it, kind of aircraft or anything? Or?
I don't know, maybe I know that Johan and his team of Whitbits, the Whitbits 8-way team, then all I know is they do 20 minutes or half an hour tunnel here in the morning, and then they go and jump at Lille.
So it must be some kind of turbine or Pilates or something.
Yes.
Or
maybe Johan can let us know if he's listening. He's probably still in bed. Of course, the 8-way has a late start.
Yes.
I doubt if Johan's really still in bed, but let us know about the aircraft.
And we got a message from Herb Husson, says, go, les herbivores. Just miss your message there, but thank you very much. We've put the message out for them. No limits now in the tunnel. These Russians firing round. Another big stable of 4-way. Leslie, the Russians over the years.
And it's sort of like most people don't really understand the Russians' continuity plan, and whenever I ask them about their continuity plan, they sort of look at me and laugh. They're completely different to the rest of the world. The French generally have a continuity plan. The Americans have a different continuity plan. The Belgians mixed it all up and took a little bit from both. And whereas the Russians, they just seem to go for